It's with great pleasure that I introduce our next speaker for this month's UPIKE Connects. Is a friend of mine, someone who just completed 24 years. Imagine how old you were 24 years ago. Of service, working as a VP for Student Life, Student Services, and just this summer started as our new Director of Planned Giving for the university. He also has the distinction of winning 3 national championships with the women's bowling team, and has been nominated Coach of the Year 3 times as well. So it's my pleasure to welcome my friend and colleague, Mr. Ron Damron.
Thanks, Eric. You know, as you come to these things, I got here, I had bowling practice this evening, so I got in here about 15 minutes while you were into your things. You know, and I didn't know what to expect when I got to one of these. I think I attended 2 or 3 Alumni Association meetings back in the 90s, you know, and so I haven't been to one, even though I did go here for a year, and I've been associated with for a long time. And it's fun, but you know, I saw something when I just walked in the door that I hadn't seen in a lot of meetings. There was actually people talking and people throwing out some things that they want to see done in order to get more people involved in that. And I think that's great. You know, I think it's just super that we can do that. And I appreciate you people. I know most of you all and have talked with you all somewhere along the way, you know, with some stuff, and it's just kind of fun being here. So. I'm just going to go about 3 ways here tonight, if you want to. I'm going to give you just a brief history of me and the college. Second, talk to you a little bit about bowling, and 3, talk with you a little bit about what I think my new job is that we're doing, and I'm learning this. But I'm like some of you guys. I know I've really come full circle here. I was born in our library back when it was the hospital, you know, and things. So I'm back to where I started from, and kind of got there. And I was raised here in Pike County. I was the old Virgie boy. I was one of the Virgie Eagles. That, you know, when we had some pretty good basketball teams and some pretty good baseball teams. This was back before football, so you know we concentrated on basketball, and that's kind of what. We were good there, and I can go back and tell you, I graduated in 1967. That's a long time ago. But when I went to college, my first couple of years in college was really easy because I got such an education at that school that it was unbelievable when I got into college at what they were teaching and how far advanced I was from what I was going on there. You know, I came out of there when grades were actually grades, you know, with something. I think my GPA at Virgie High School, out of 132 people, my GPA was 3.28. You know, for a senior today, that's pretty lousy, right? Honor graduates were top 10, and I think I was 7th in my class with a 3.28 GPA, you know, and we worked hard, and we had teachers that were just fabulous that would help you. And I graduated from college, and I will tell you that the high school that I started teaching at, I expected it to be like what I went through in high school. Well, let me tell you guys, it was an eye-opener for me. Because if I had been mature enough, I would have had enough knowledge to go to that high school, leaving the high school I was at, in order to and be able to teach. I mean, that's just kind of how far, and it was a Pike County school, and I just cannot believe a difference in that section. And why do I talk a little bit about that? It's because we, at the University of Pikeville, we get students that are on a really good level when they come in from high schools. And we get a lot of students who have 4.0s that really struggle a lot just trying to get through some developmental classes. So we are in with the whole gambit of people, you know, from people that maybe shouldn't even be here to people that just excel at everything they do with whatever. So we're the college for a lot of people. Now, let me give you an example of something that I got yesterday, and I hadn't thought a lot about this. And our mission is an open admissions institution here, and it's always has been. And there's been discussions ever since I've been here 24 years. Maybe we should change. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should stay. Maybe we should look. And it's always been what it is. But I had a person tell me yesterday. He told me, he said, I could not get into the professional schools that I wanted to get into. He said, my grades were not good enough. He said, my test scores were just not good enough. He said, I just couldn't get into the schools I wanted to do, and I wanted to be an attorney. He said, I couldn't get in any place. And he said, there was this one school, and I don't know the name of the law school, but it was in Ohio, I do know that. He said, their policy was partially open admission. And basically, if one of their grads would go to bat for them and make a $10,000 donation, that they would give them an opportunity. They wouldn't guarantee anything to them, but they would give them an opportunity. And that had been a history of that school since it originated. He said, I got in law school because somebody made a $10,000 donation, and they selected me to go. Today, that guy is top-notch attorney and doing things for he and his family, and actually does stuff for the University of Pikeville. And he also told me that the law school that he graduated from, that he would be making his contribution of $10,000 a year, so that if the opportunity ever came up to where someone couldn't get in, that he would try to do that for somebody else, what somebody did for him. And he said, and they stopped that. And I just got to thinking about us. Do we really want to stop giving that person an opportunity? Because we really don't know once a person has an opportunity, if they're going to take advantage of it and do it, or if they're just going to just be and not do anything. But you don't know that person until you do that. But on the sidelight, that's kind of what I'm in now with, put my fundraising hat on a little bit. He said, I have stopped giving to that university, the law school, because they changed their mission. Our mission has been here since 1889. And guys, I kind of hope we never change that mission. And let's go back. I got here, I taught in schools, 7 years here in the county. I worked at the bank in town for 11 years, and I came up here with, I had a couple of job opportunities while I was working there, and I felt like through a lot of prayer, through a lot of thinking, a lot of talking, and that maybe this is where I was supposed to be, because I was very content in the job that I was in. I mean, I was not looking for a job. And then in about a 6-week period, I had 2 really good job offers. So I told my wife, I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't think it's probably this. So I sort of pursued both of them. One of them paid really good. One of them was this one. I'm here, okay? Because I really feel like this is probably at that time where I should have been. And when I came, I taught 7 years. I worked in the banking industry for 11 years. I said, I'll be here 7 or 8 years, and then, I'll go somewhere else. Well, in 1997, I've been here 7 years. Great opportunity came by for me. I just could not pull the trigger on that opportunity. I looked at it, I worked at it, and made the decision, and I told our president, and he was aware of the whole time what I was doing, that I was going to stay here. And since that time, 97, it's been how many more? 17 more years. I've never had a second thought about this is not where I was supposed to be, and I've been very content. But the whole thing and the job that I'm doing now, and the job that I had when I was here, was helping people. And you know, and and just caring for people, and that's the way you kind of help people. And I got to be dean of students, and I told some of you people here, because when I came up here, I had no clue what I was going to do. I had no clue. Started at 8:30 on a Monday morning on October the 8th of 1990, with not a clue on which office I would be in or what I would be doing. President Owens just said, "Come up, we're going to work you and see." I was here for an hour. The dean of students resigned. At 9:30, I was the dean of students of the school. Honest story. So I had a lot to learn. And as you go through, you get into budgets, you get into things, but all of it comes back to relationships and people and what you do. You know, and a lot of things, 95% of the things in student services is fun. Dealing with the students, the student activities, the dorm things, getting to know people, getting to know the athletes, getting to know the people, going to the ball games, seeing people that come through school here as an opportunity and walking across the stage that may never got an opportunity somewhere else. And having kids come up to you and say, "My brother's really struggling and I don't know what to do." And you know, we say, "Can we help?" And you know, they tell you, said, "Can you really do that?" I said, "Yeah, that's why we're here. We're really to do that." Or see kids who have been suspended from other schools because it just took them a while to grow up to come here and make the dean's list and graduate. I mean, when you see that, but you also see the other 5%, which was the bad part, you know. And the toughest part of the whole job was going to see how long that you could go with students before you had to give them their little slip that said they couldn't come back to school, you know. And I tried my best to go as long as I could before I sent anybody home. Now, probably a lot of faculty and staff probably got really mad at me a lot of times because I probably kept people maybe longer than they thought I should. But you don't know who that person is that you might be able to turn around. After a while, you finally realize you can't. Now, there was a couple of things that, you know, that you just can't, you don't get second chances for. Having a weapon on campus, you know, there's things that just automatic, you know, that you can't do that. But basically, if you're just crazy and wild and things like that, as long as you're here, we can help you. You know, once we turn our back on you and we send you away, and sometimes that has to be what you do, because sometimes people just won't grow up until they're faced with reality that I'm done and I've got to do something else. But that was kind of that. And I'm kind of relating this, the gift planning person here, the last one we had was, I guess, Representative Leslie Combs, and she was in it about a year or so. I think this was 7 or 8 years ago. And she was the first one we'd had, I guess, maybe ever, who was an official director of planned giving here. And she began to organize the department. And evidently she must not have liked it because she left for politics. And I'm not sure what I'm not going to leave for politics, but it's sort of been there. And we've had our people, our vice presidents, who work a little bit. They work some in this because that's their job in the gift planning and things. But we're going to try to get into this and try to do something with it to where we can let people really help us. So let me just kind of explain. I told you about the student services simply because that's helping people. This job is the same thing. It's basically helping other people. And I've already had stories, some good, some not. Let me give you the bad one. A person went here on a full scholarship back in the 80s that I've talked to. Graduated. Full scholarship. Didn't pay the college a dime. Told me he would never give a penny to our college. But he wouldn't tell me why. You know? There's an issue there. And I don't know what it is. And I've also had people just in this job here that were here years ago that want to really help us and do some things. And as we work with people, I see planned giving as an opportunity for people who may not have disposable income right now to make gifts to the university, but will be able to help, you know, later on, because we want people to leave gifts like in their wills for us, that they won't be there. We want people to be able to, and somehow take a life income, some from maybe an annuity or something, and what they don't use during their lifetime, the remainder then will go to us, with some things. But there's a lot of ways that you could help the college out now and help out later and still not affect how you do your things now. And and I know a lot of people, all the ways as they're going through, they always want to make sure, and me too, I'm the same way. I want to make sure when I pass on that my family is taken care of. There's ways, I found out there's ways to do that to where you can take care of your family and also take care of your charities. Now, a lot of people give to charities. We can't give to every charity going on. So you've got to select which one means, what means to you, which one you want to continue working with. But, I look at two or three, I'm real interested actually in the church that I attend. That's going to be one of my charities. I've had a great relationship at the University of Pikeville now for 24 years. That's got to be a charity that I help support. There's other great charities out there, but you've got to pick the ones that you feel that have contributed to your family, contributed to you, and help you out, and choose in that way. And and when I go to visit people, that's part of the presentation that I have to do. We want you to feel like University of Pikeville was really something special to you, and you really want to see it, and you want to look at it and maybe give back. And you say, I don't have that right now in order to do, but there's a way that you can do it down the road. And that's what planned giving actually is. It's taking the funds that you may have at the end, and without maybe a will, or without not knowing where things are going, and plan it to where there's less taxes given to the government, more money given to your charity, as much money given to your families, with things of that nature. I mean, it's kind of amazing what you can do in just some of the studies that I've had. But basically, I just see it as another way of helping, another way of being able to serve students, being able to keep this university open as an open mission to give other people opportunities to do that. And, not everybody can give $1 million. Not everybody can give $1,000. But if we get our alumni, which you're doing, even doing $5, $10, just get them in the habit of being able to give and give and give. That's not asking much. We waste $5 on Cokes every day. We're asking for a $5 to $10 donation a year when we do the phone-a-thons and things like that. But once you get that person in the habit of being able to do that, and people that give regularly to other charities will also give to us. That's just their nature, and that's why why people are stretched, because they do support a lot of people. Somewhere in your life, though, you've got to decide, which ones am I really going to support, which one means the most to me. Everything is good. I mean, there's very few charities out there that don't serve a really good purpose. But, I can't help every one of them. There's only 3 or 4 that I want to help support, and those are the ones that I want to work with. Nothing against the others, but that's just kind of the way it is. But basically, plan giving to me is just going out and letting people who want to have the same relationship with students to be able to pull it in here, pull it together, and really make a difference in the lives of students now and the lives of people down the road. But basically, it's bringing loyalties together to take what you think is really good and just serving the purpose to help people. And anytime you give to any charity, your goal is basically helping people. If you give to the Cancer Society, what are you doing? You're helping people out by trying to get cures for cancer. If you're giving to your church, you're helping to see people come to know Christ. If you give to one of my charities, I will tell you, is like Christ Central School. The education there for a small group of students is just really good, and it's in a different kind of setting than the public school system. It's good because I think those people there, they can take students that struggle in the public school system, and they can become successful. But there's just different things that you can do with that. But, you know, I guess when I talk with people, when I see people, you know, I'm really not going to ask for money as such. I just ask for people caring and want to continue to support the mission of our institution and do it in a way that it doesn't really hurt them, but yet in a sense that would really help us down the road and things, you know. And as we do this, we'll see. We're trying to establish, we're trying to see what happens, and we're trying to do it, and we're going to try to build it almost from the ground up and see what it's doing. And it's going to be a project to do, I can already tell you, you know, but we're just going to work at it. And it starts with people like you and the Alumni Association who care to spread the word, to tell other people, to bring them in, to get some people to do those events. And the more people are attached to anything that they're with, if more people are attached to the University of Pikeville, then they will do more for the University of Pikeville. If they're more attached to NASCAR racing, they will do more for NASCAR racing. You know, it's just the way it is, you know. And so you've got to have people attached. And sometimes, I guess, we have been not very successful in tooting our horns about some of the good things that actually go on here. And there's a lot of great things here. We hear a lot of the negatives, but there's a lot of great things here. And I'm probably going to be asking some of you for stories that I can use just to share with other people. You know, one of our board members, you know, and I'm saying this because this is what he told me. He said, I remember when I was a student here that I was totally, every fund I had was gone. He said, I thought I was going to have to drop out of school. And he said, I came in your office. I didn't even remember him coming in my office. He told me this, you know. He said, you figured out how I could go to school the next semester and the next year. And he said, I ended up graduating. He's on our trustees now, you know. And that's somebody that, you know, I don't remember the conversation with him, but the thing that it says, you never know when you help someone what they become and what they do, you know. And you know, hopefully I can take this and I can get it into the point where people can help long after they're gone. They're still helping this institution and still serving people. Okay? Thanks a lot for listening to me and having me, and I'll gladly take questions if you want.
I'd just like to make a comment that you personify what UPIKE, I call it formally, stands for, and that is opportunity.
Right.
I was in admission in financial aid for 7 years, and over for 3. One story that paralleled what you were talking about there, we accepted a kid, had decent grades. He had a composite of 10 on his ACT. Well, to make a long story short, opportunity was there. He took advantage. He ended up making a career, living in finance. He said, I'm ashamed of this. He said, I can't take a test. He said, I cannot. He said, I cannot. But actually worked for us some after he graduated in finance up here, the financial aid end of it, then moved on to a successful career in finance. Many of our schools, I know in the past, were not up to snuff. I can tell you, if you can, there's certain schools somewhere to get kids from, they've got a stronger background. Certain schools, they may have better grades, they don't have the background. But they have potential.
Right.
And for us to still see it, thank goodness we're not quick trigger university, say, I'm sorry, you can't whatever. Because some of these people end up with unbelievable accomplishments if they're given the opportunity. And they have the people, such as yourself and many other people that have served up here, to take the time to sit down and talk to them and give them a little encouragement.
Right. And it takes, and not every person that we bring in here is going to graduate, and we know that. Not every person we bring in with the 30 ACT is going to graduate. because they don't take advantage of the opportunity that they have. But, we bring them in and they have to earn their way through. That's right. They get in developmental courses and they make a way. And you can be very successful. Can be very successful. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it a lot.